Wintour in the news this morning after her announcement yesterday she's stepping down as editor-in-chief of American Vogue. 37 years in the role, a legend. Now, she's not disappearing. She's going to still oversee Vogue globally as the chief content officer for the parent company, Condé Nast. So other magazines like Wired and Vanity Fair, that's all part of that company. But stepping back, as I said, from that key editor-in-chief role where she established herself, bar none, as one of the most influential personalities in fashion. Whenever you talk about the fashion, though, you want to hear the insight of someone who is also one of the most influential people in fashion, who knows that world better than almost anyone in the country. So look who's with us, Jeanne Beker in Warkworth, Ontario. Good morning, Jeanne. I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Oh, good morning, Heather. It's just a joy to be here with you.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, I know I mentioned she's not retiring, she's not disappearing, but still, this was an announcement that shocked many people. What did you make of it?
I don't know. I almost thought like much ado about nothing, quite frankly. I don't want to sound that jaded, and I know everyone's going, wow, this is major news. Is it really going to change the shape of what Vogue is, what it's become to mean in our lives, and really where it's going? I wonder. This is a very perilous time for the magazine industry as a whole. Magazines just ain't what they used to be. And certainly even in terms of, wielding the kind of power and influence that they once wielded, specifically Vogue magazine, it's just not the same. So she's still the big boss in charge.
For sure, she'll still wield that power. But I wonder if the reason that it matters is because of exactly what you said, because of what it says maybe about the industry and how it has changed to the point where the magazine itself is not the big deal it was.
Yeah, absolutely. There used to be such a glamour surrounding the role of editor-in-chief of a magazine. It's just not the case anymore. A lot of these editors-in-chief are just like working their butts off, trying to, meet their deadlines every week or every month. And it's just not the same. Yes, is there a necessity for strong editorial voices and unique points of view and a lot of new and fresh material? Without question. And I think that's why Anna's smart enough to know that she does have teams of wonderful writers and editors that will, constantly be contributing to Vogue. She just needs someone to, help her, rein them in. But she is still going to have ultimate say. But, advertising dollars are really down. Print magazines are competing with so much now in the world. It's just very hard to see their circulation really being upped. I mean, Vogue magazine, I remember doing a story on fashion television on Vogue magazine in 1992, and we said that their circulation for American Vogue was 1.3 million. Well, just this past spring, they announced their circulation was 1.2 million. So, think of how much the population has grown in 40 years, but, yet the circulation is down.
Diminishing readership. So much digital now. I mean, it was such a big deal. There even was the documentary, the September issue, because it was such a moment in the fashion year, as you would know better than anyone. It still has given us pause to reflect on why she's in the news, and partly because she's such a global figure. She's known internationally. She's had a huge impact over many decades. What would you say has been her most significant contribution, or what has she changed? What do you think?
Well, I think, she was there, even though you could say that a lot of what went on at Vogue still seemed quite dictatorial, but this whole democratization of fashion that went on, once media like television started covering it, now that, it's just on everyone's phone, it's been so digitized. Anna was always aware of the high-low mix in fashion. Even the first cover that she presented in 1988 really showed that she had denim on the cover for the very first time.
Jeanne, we actually have that. I got that ready for you just in case you mentioned it. So here it is with the model Michaela on the front, November of '88. Yeah. And as you say, the first time denim had ever been featured on a Vogue cover. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was a very hip thing to do. She was very aware of the high-low mix. I remember the first time I ever met It was at the New York Library, I think, that I ever met Anna Wintour. This is just shortly after she took over at Vogue in 1988. And she was wearing a fabulous little sparkly dress. And, I asked her who designed it. And she said, oh, it's vintage Jeffrey Bean. And I thought that was so cool. I mean, that was like so many years ago. For her to be, wearing vintage at that time, it was like, whoa, okay. Who had ever heard of that then? She was really a forward thinker.
So when you remember the first time you met her, you always had personal interactions with her, and I'm wondering, was she really as icy and sort of as, fearsome as people characterize her, as she appeared to be at times?
Well, Mark Jacobs told me, much earlier on in his career, back in about 1990, that we were talking about the most terrifying celebrities that you ever had to work with, or that you ever just wanted to die for. And he said the scariest thing for him as a young designer was having Anna Wintour come to his showroom to get her measurements taken. And he said he just couldn't believe. She was a lovely person, but enigmatic, and I think there was a shyness about her that sometimes made her seem a little bit icy. I think she looked down at me, I have to say, because we had much different styles of a reportage, shall we say, and she wasn't a big fan of television when television first started coming into the fashion fray, because it wasn't intellectual enough, or it wasn't, deeper probing enough. So, I had my moments with her, but she was responsible for a wonderful story about me in fashion television in Vogue magazine in the early 90s. And subsequently, Vogue has shown their support of me, and I just think it's been an incredible ride. It was really emblematic of a golden age in fashion, which I'm sorry to say is no more. Not to say there's not a lot of great stuff happening in fashion, very creative, but it's just fashion ain't what it used to be. The economics are different.
90s, 2000s. For sure.
The way we consume fashion is different. It's just different, and we really need to, shake the system up, and things have to change in a major way. And maybe this is a little bit of the start of that.
Well, listen, before I let you go, I love this conversation. I could carry right on with you all day about all of these anecdotes from your legendary career. But listen, we're talking here because we're getting set. We're heading on the road. Jeanne, I know you're heading on the road for your work too, but we're heading on the road to Charlottetown next week for Canada Day to kick off. Isn't that fantastic there? So we're kicking off the day in Charlottetown with a big Canada Day celebration, because the feeling is this year is different, that there seems to be a different spirit in the air, people are telling us. I'm interested in you as a noted Canadian. When in all your career and all your global travels in your life, when have you most felt Canadian, Jeannie?
Well, I cannot tell you how much I felt it every single day in those international fashion trenches, waving my flag and just wearing Canadian designers, religiously, really, for so many decades. But I think the day that I got my Order of Canada pin was the best. Actually, the medal that was presented to me at Rideau Hall in 2014, that meant the most. And this little wee pin is still my very best accessory, whether you call it a fashion accessory or not. But I'm just so proud to be part of the cultural landscape of this incredibly glorious country of ours. And Yahoo! Go Canada.
Go Canada. I'm so glad you could make time for us today. I've loved having you on, Jeannie. Hopefully we can do this again. Thank you for today.
Thank you so much, Heather. Have a great one.
You too, and happy Canada Day. Jeanne Beker on CBC Morning Live.